What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Winning Move Podcast. First episode of Season 2. I'm so excited to have you guys back here. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that I hold near and dear that I think is something that I have tried to live by my entire life. Let's dive in. All right, so we're going to talk about one thing that I think holds really true, which is pressure creates diamonds. And when you put yourself in high pressure situations, you need to do that as much as possible so you can get used to it and perform at your highest level when that happens. I've noticed myself from the beginning of fucking hustling my face off to where then I get a little bit of money in my account, and then I'm like, oh, you can somewhat relax. And I want to avoid that at all costs. So I try and put as much pressure on myself consistently, but yet still comfortably to where I'm not going to have a heart attack at 26 years old. Right? But the amount of pressure you can handle and the amount of pressure you can get through and thrive in is another factor of how much money can you make. Because now when you have a company and you have hundreds of mouths to feed, and you have your own personal family to feed, how are you going to react? Are you going to fucking crumble? Or are you going to breathe in it all and strive through that shit and kick some ass and keep on going? So I think a lot of people at the beginning need to get used to operating under pressure, especially as an entrepreneur. I mean, father figure, all these other things, business owner. If you cannot handle the pressure, then you just aren't meant for the game. Like the amount of bullshit you can handle and the amount of pressure you can handle there's a pretty strong correlation to the amount of money you're going to make, right? So last month, and I'll use this as an example, we had out of nowhere, we had a lot, almost like 6 figures of expenses, hit out of nowhere. And I was like, oh shit, how am I going to react to this? We don't have 6 figures liquid. I never have 6 figures liquid. I try and keep my account lower than that. Just like, okay, what can we put it into? And then, so I was like, okay, how am I going to fucking react to this shit? Am I going to curl over? Or I'm like, I'm that fucking guy. I got this. How am I going to do it? Who has my money? And so obviously, I figured it out and we made it happen. But then I had been in so many other situations to where I'd put myself in a high pressure situation to where I had to figure it out and I had to make it happen to where it wasn't anything new. Because if it's something new to you, you may not know how you're going to react. You may not know how your mind works. You may not know what you need to do to get yourself ready to go and fucking destroy whatever comes at you. Because when you're in this game, shit is just going to come at you. Right. And so how are you going to put yourself in small situations and start small and then go big? I mean, I started big and I put myself in a situation where I had no money. I was like, fuck it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to fucking keep going. And then I had pressure in sports before that have somewhat groomed me to be in this situation. But if you are just getting started, what are you doing to apply pressure in your life so you can see how you react? Because you can tell yourself that you're that motherfucker, you're that real. But have you ever been in that situation where you've had to fucking figure it out and go from there? Because if you haven't, you should put yourself in some situations where you figure it out. And then that way, when the real time comes up, in your head, you can already lean back on whatever did happen. And you're like, oh, I'm that fucking guy. I've conquered this. I've conquered that. I've conquered that. I've conquered that. This is just another fucking tally mark in my book on my journey. I got this. So think about that as you go through this life of putting pressure on yourself purposefully so you can grow and adapt. As we do that, I promise you it'll pay off. And I'm not saying put yourself in bad financial situations, but in this game, shit does happen. I want you to be able to react and adapt at a high level. And this is just one way I've found that helps me out a lot, is putting myself in different situations, seeing what I am personally made of, and then going from there. If it's the first time that you're in that situation, who knows what's going to happen, and then you don't have that much faith in yourself, because it's like, for me, like it takes a while to get that good self-talk. So next time you are in a high pressure situation, or you feel yourself going into a lull, find a way to put pressure on yourself. I promise you, pressure creates diamonds, because you're that fucking guy or gal or dog, whatever it is. You're the fucking one, and you got to completely tell yourself that and know that and have faith in yourself to get that done. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.